Disclaimer: this podcast was not made to slander or speak ill of any author we will soon talk about. We will try our best to disassociate the author from their books.
This is a book discussion, and we are just speaking our opinions and not just speaking negatively about any book.
And this is a spoiler warning.
Welcome to part 2 of the John Green finale.
In The Fault in Our Stars, the main character Hazel Grace Lancaster has cancer and she starts going to a support group because her mom thinks she's depressed. She meets a weird guy named Augustus, or Gus Waters, who won't take no for an answer and is basically bugging her because he thinks she's hot. They start bonding and, all that sappy stuff, and then travel to Amsterdam to find this author that wrote their favorite book. Hazel starts thinking that there's something to live for in the world, then one of them tragically dies, and then we're back at square one. So, yeah. So, Isabel's personal favorite out of John Green's books is Looking for Alaska, and Doris's favorite is Turtles All the Way Down, but my personal favorite is The Fault in Our Stars. So, that's very fun.
Yeah. We already went through his writing style in all the earlier episodes, obviously, and so it's not much different in Looking for Alaska, obviously, because it's the same author.
Yeah.
But unlike the other books where the plot was just kind of non-existent, this one kind of has more plot because they were kind of on a short time span with cancer and all that.
Yeah, they were fighting something, but also they had a journey to Amsterdam, kind of random, but again,
but love that for them. It
has more reasoning to it.
Yeah. It kind of makes more sense in this book to be angry, to travel, to have a lot of angst, because we love angst in YA. Angst. And because, they are on a shorter time span with their cancer and all that. So compared to the other books, I don't know, sorry, no hate, Isabel, but Looking for Alaska.
Wow.
Okay, no, we're gonna, because I don't want to say Paper Towns, because we haven't talked about Paper Towns yet, but in Looking for Alaska, the characters act like adults when they're not adults, so.
They curse a lot, but that's his style. I remember in elementary school, my friend, she read Fault in Our Stars. She's like, I loved it a lot, and I was like, okay, I'll read it. And then the first chapter, it was just not it, because I was an elementary schooler, and when you're in elementary school, you think the word stupid is a bad word. So reading John Green is just not it.
Yeah, I remember I tried to read The Fault in Our Stars pretty young, and I got scared by it, and so I couldn't finish it, and then, later I actually did finish it, obviously, because we're talking about it, but I was just scared, especially with the Oblivion talk. I'm I can't handle this.
I remember in, 6th grade, I was ooh, this seems like a deep book, but, apparently it's really sad. Maybe I don't want to read it. And then I read it, and I was well, I did sob, but, I was man, this is... I mean, 6th grade self didn't really know, but it wasn't... it was kind of sad.
Wait, you read in 6th grade? I thought you read it, this summer.
No. I read it this summer.
Because I remember you were texting me, you're, really sad about it, and I'm oh, nice.
Yeah.
But then I told you to read Looking for Alaska, and you're it was okay, and, I was, a little hurt, but that's okay.
I'm sorry, it just didn't do it for me. Also, reading John Green books back to back just
it kind of just ruins
I read,
it.
Looking for Alaska and Paper Towns back to back, and I was kind of dying because they were also the same.
It's literally
plot.
the same story.
Yeah,
but we'll talk about that in our Paper Towns episode.
Yeah.
But anyways, apparently, I mean, again, I clearly don't have cancer, so. Well, it's not clear, but I don't. But people say that The Fault in Our Stars is a pretty good, emotional depiction of having cancer. But also, I mean, I'm sure, a lot of people with cancer, do think about, what their life is, what's going on, all that stuff. I don't know, in the book, it was just oh, we're really deep, and we're really mature because we have cancer, and I don't really think that's the case all the time,
I mean, compared to all of John Green's books, it's really cool to see how he put his research into it, and like, because for Turtles All the Way Down, you can tell that he researched a lot and about mental health. And Paper Towns, he researched about Paper Towns. So, I guess it was cool.
I mean, a lot of John Green's books are like kind of surface level. Like at first they seem like, wow, so deep. But then you finish reading and you're like, well, the end. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's still like YA. And it's not even, what's the word? It's not even like a lot of action. So you're not like super attached to the characters, I guess. I don't really know.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
the
also, like,
problem
I don't
with-
know, a down part for, like, John Green's books, since they're only, like, standalones, and it's only one book, you only get development in one book, so then, like, it's hard to, and since all his books are also super short, so it's, like, hard to get attached to the characters, but, you know,
I
mean,
can't tell you one
he's
thing
still,
about any of the
he's,
characters.
he's still able to, like, get people attached to, like, you know, Gus, and I
Yeah.
guess Hazel. I
Uh,
mean, I don't know, all his books just have, like, that common theme where there's, like, some dark, there's, like, you know, like, a dark side to,
something
like, all
bad
the,
happens.
yeah. I mean, except for Paper Towns, I don't really think I mean, we'll talk about that
Well, it's
later,
not
but, like,
bad, but it's just like dramatic.
yeah, but I mean, like, for these, like, Looking for Alaska, I guess, and then Turtles All the Way Down and Fault in Our Stars, they're kind of, like, a bit dark, has, like, the depth-ish, but, like, still lighthearted enough for it to not seem like a super depressed book the entire time, you know?
For me, my relationship with this book is like love-hate because I really, really, really like John Green's quotes. But like if you actually think about the characters, think about the plot, it's kind of bad, so I don't know.
I mean, I remember
It's like, it fluctuates.
I
My opinion
remembered
fluctuates.
we were texting about Fault in Our Stars, and Anya kept saying, "But the quotes."
It's true, the quotes are so good.
Like
Literally
Doris and
me,
I were,
though.
yeah, literally Doris and I were like, It's okay," but Anya's like the quotes the entire
The
time.
quotes.
So, as we've said about all of John Green's novels, there's that one really cliche girl, and there's one really cliche guy. Gus doesn't really fit into the cliche guy as much as
I mean, he
Pudge
kind of
and-
does.
Yeah, he kind of does, but like
He's got like
eh.
that angst, sort of.
Yeah,
It's not like the awkward guy. He's like the, what's the right word?
The bad boy, but he's like actually
he's
really
not
nice.
bad though. He's just
Yeah,
there.
he's just like he's like in between like bad boy and like awkward, but like at the same time not really awkward, but like not bad boy. You know what
He's just
Yeah.
an average dude
I'm saying? He's just the average
But then he's
dude.
also no,
who's
but then he's
able
all
to travel to
But
Netherlands.
wouldn't the
decent
average
stuff.
dude technically be like the awkward or the bad boy type?
Yeah.
kind of.
Hmm.
But now we gotta focus on Hazel, who's the embodiment of depressed girl who's closed off and only opens up to one person. Which
Yeah.
I don't know, it has that cliche factor, but then again, this book was written before all the other cliche books.
Yeah,
were
this is
written,
like
so
the blueprint. Like other
Yeah,
books
this is
copied
like-
The Fault in Our Stars.
yeah, this is like the backbone, I guess.
yeah.
I mean,
Hazel
there
just went through a lot, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought it was like kind of. It wasn't like annoying, but it was kind of frustrating to see how mean she was to her parents. Because, like, she was obviously struggling with, like, her own issues, but her parents literally thought she was gonna die, and she was still, like, kind of rude to them, and I was like, dang, like, you gotta appreciate them.
I always thought it was kind of just. Oh, I can't find the right word. It just rubbed me the wrong way, the way that she treated them. Yeah, I had to use a not metaphor, like a cliche saying. That she would like have snippy comebacks to her parents. And yeah, she's struggling, she's dealing with cancer, but her parents are also dealing with emotional trauma because she still is their child.
Yeah.
I don't know, her parents just like seem like so happy when Hazel joined that group. And then Hazel's all like, no, it sucked, or you know, like
Yeah,
her parents are
her mom
really
really
trying.
tried.
I know, they're like really trying, and you know, Hazel's just being really ungrateful, and it's so sad. Because, you know, her
Yeah.
parents deserve better. But I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like Hazel could have like been more appreciative of life instead of being so closed off to everybody.
I guess it just shows how other people handle emotion differently. Like some people, like me, I just talk to everybody. I'm like, I'm so sad all the time. And then you also have the people that are just like
stoic,
closed off. Yeah, and they just stop talking really.
Like
so.
Mai. Mai, same thing.
From Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
I love May. She's my favorite girl in the Avatar franchise.
But I mean, Hazel's like not like her though, because like Hazel's like, because like she's closed off, but like she's just like snappy and like stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like her whole like, it wasn't like a life goal, but it was like this. What's the word? Like a mantra? What's it called? Mantra?
I think it's mantra.
I think it's mantra too. But like, she was like, oh, you know, I want to have the least amount of impact on the world as possible because like death is inevitable for me and I don't want to like hurt people.
That's so deep for like a teenager.
Yeah, it's like,
oh my gosh, she's like the type of person to like write those really sad emo poems.
Yeah.
Death is inevitable.
No, but like she didn't want to put that many people through like the pain of losing someone, but at the same time, since she already had those people in her life, she can't just cut them off, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's not how it works.
It kind of like makes it worse in a way.
Yeah. I feel like she hurt her parents more by being mean to them than if she were like the perfect child, because like her parents obviously know that she's gonna have a hard life regardless and she might die. But I don't feel like that doesn't really give her an excuse to be so, like, a brat.
It's like, I get what she's saying, like, and she doesn't want to hurt anyone, but, like, she's kind of already doing it if she, like, treats everyone around her, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
you know even if she tries to make them not care for her as much, they still have the memories of her when she was younger, when she didn't have cancer. So they're gonna be sad regardless.
Yeah. Like, she was already in their life, so it's, like, kind of making it worse that she's, like, being all closed off, but I do get what she's thinking. It's, like,
yeah, this is, like, a gray situation, so...
Yeah.
Like, for once, we don't have a strong opinion.
True. No, but like for me personally, if I were like going through something, or like basically if anything to like anyone close to me, like if they were going through anything, like I would rather like, and I knew that their time was like running short or whatever, like that's so sad to think about, but like I would rather like have the best time with them as possible, like as much as possible, and
like
make, you know, have
make
great
the most
memories
of it.
than like close myself off and like when they actually do, like if something bad happens, then I don't want to be uncaring.
But, you know, she did base a lot of her personality on this one book written by this author. And
I mean, you know, I did read Looking for Alaska, and like I basically like, you know, was like freaking out about it when I first read it, because like that was when I didn't. But then like I would base my life off of certain of his quotes because I was like that type of person. And then, you know, just like her also doing that but with like another book is kind of just makes me go like, huh, that's like a little weird, you know?
Yeah.
And also like for her, I think she mostly liked it because it ended abruptly, because like that's how
because it
like,
didn't have a proper ending.
That.
Yeah, and she's like obsessed with how it ended, and like obviously, yeah, you kind of want to like tie up those loose ends, but if she liked it for the reason that it ended in the middle, as life does, then you wouldn't care about the ending, but she still did. And like that kind of, I don't know, it seems redundant if she was like, oh, it's so cool that it ends in the middle, but I want to know what happens. It's like, okay.
I don't know. It kind of annoyed me that she forced Gus to read it, but then Gus took them to Amsterdam just so they could ask the author that one thing. And then they also just got disappointed that the author was really mean and kind of a sociopath. Well, not a sociopath, but like just hating life. So I feel like that was just.
I mean, I wouldn't really say that like her obsession with the book is redundant. I'd say it's more like in a way it's kind of ironic since she's
Yeah, it's
thinking, wow, like
ironic.
this like the ending's like, oh my gosh, it's so cool, but then like at the same time she's like, I'm gonna die. It's like
And
Yeah.
she's
she's like
like, I
she's
need
like
to find out. Let's
reflecting.
go to Amsterdam to find
Yeah.
out. Like, that's just like a lot.
It's
And
like
like
she's
if he
pushing
ended
the
it,
end, you know?
if he ended the book where he ended it, he probably didn't think about the ending because like why would he have to? Like the book already ended, you know?
Oh
Yeah.
wait, that book is like that one Charles Dickens book where it was like a mystery, but then like it never ended or something. Like they never found the ending for like the novel. And then like
Oh.
and then people were making different like theories on who like the murderer was or something. It was like
Charles
interesting. So like
Dickens?
yeah, it's a Charles Dickens book.
Which
I forget the
one?
name of it. Let me search it. It's like the mystery. Let me search it up real quick.
Well,
I kinda
while
like
It's not
you're
like a
doing
it's not like a
that,
popular one.
You know,
we're
that
just
kind of
gonna cut
reminds
this
me of
part.
why
Oh, the
Isabel
mystery
loves
of
looking for the.
Edwin Drood. The mystery of Edwin Drood. It doesn't have like a proper ending. So then like
It kind of reminds me of why Isabel loves looking for the Alaska so much because the ending, you never, oh my god, you never
yeah,
found
you don't
out
really like
how
you don't really
why she died.
know that yeah. So I was like, wow, that's like so deep. But then now I'm just like that's like kind of I don't know.
It's okay. We helped Isabel grow and expand her reading collection.
Exactly.
While Hazel's personality was like kind of bland and she was kind of pretentious, it is really cool that John Green based her off of a fan. Like that's really sweet.
Oh, I love that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I
Wait.
think they met at like a fan convention or something, and
Wait,
he was like, "Wow,
really?
that's kind of sweet." It's not kind of sweet. It is sweet.
Wait, did he write a book before? Oh, he wrote Looking for Alaska. Was it
I
like
think so. And like
some
before
fan thing
that,
for that?
I think before that he already started maybe Crash Course or like YouTube or something.
Oh my gosh, love Crash Course.
Crash Course is
Crash Course is
iconic.
iconic.
I don't know.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he should like make a Crash Course about his own books. Actually, no, that's kind of weird.
I feel like he would also roast them. You know?
I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I
He
mean,
seems like the type to roast them.
I mean, yeah.
He's
He
a
like
funny
does.
guy.
No, because
I
it's
don't know,
really
like,
funny
kinda
seeing
weird.
his twin Hank roast everything. So I feel
On
like he
TikTok,
would
on
roast him too.
TikTok. I love
Yeah,
him
on
on
TikTok.
TikTok. The other day, I learned from Hank. Well, I didn't learn why we shouldn't eat grass, but I learned that we shouldn't eat grass, and I was like, "That's really deep."
I learned
All
that
right.
juice is useless from Hank.
Juice is useless?
No, because if you think about it, if you're going to drink something unhealthy, you might as well drink soda because juice has basically the same amount of sugar, and
I
it's
mean, that's a
pointless that we.
given.
Yeah, but it's pointless
Like,
because
soda-
people say that juice is healthier.
Okay,
I
first
mean,
of all, soda is not
but
as good
soda
as
has,
juice.
like-
Soda
but
makes
soda
me
has, like,
uncomfortable
carbon.
because it's like fizzy and like it makes me feel kind of terrible.
I'd
Well,
rather
soda
just
has
drink
like
sparkling water.
carbonation. Well, like
Sparkling
carbonated
water.
carbonated drinks aren't good. Like sparkling water, all the soda-y type things are like not healthy. Anyways,
But sparkling water doesn't have like
Taurus.
extra sugar. I'm sorry, I like sparkling water. Leave me alone.
My
I
dad
like
has like one of
tea.
those soda streams where you can like inject.
Oh, he
soda.
has one of those. Oh my god,
Yeah,
one
you
time
can, like,
randomly in science,
pressurize
my
it.
teacher was like, "Do you guys have soda streams?"
My dad's only used it like twice though.
Yeah, you didn't know, Anya's dad just buys things randomly and just never uses them.
Yeah, we have an air fryer that we don't use. Sorry, I'll stop.
What are we talking about?
We're talking
Oh my
about
God.
Gus. Gus is a clingy guy. He was so clingy.
Like when he first met Hazel, he was kind of just like, "Oh, hey, man!" Like he thought she was hot, and I'm like, that's like a
No, he
little
was kind of.
sus."
He was just like, "Wow, your name is Hazel Grace. That's so basic."
And he was like, what's your
Yeah.
full name? And then she's like, Hazel Grace Lancaster. I'm like, okay.
That's like
He's
really
like, you know,
creepy,
Hazel
too.
Grace, you're a pretty cool girl. And she's like, thanks.
You know what's really weird? If you look closely at the movie, like you know, like the movie cover kind of for The Fault in Our Stars, you can see that Hazel has her eyes closed, but Gus is actually looking at her. His eyes
I love that.
I mean, I guess it could be cute, but like for his context,
not
it's like
really.
kind of weird.
But then it was also cute to see how he got obsessed with the book that Hazel introduced to him. Like, he kind of made it, like, his entire personality, too, along with Hazel. And they literally, he's just, like, he used his dream thing to go to Amsterdam.
Yeah, his Make-A-Wish Foundation, they, like, I mean, go off, I guess.
No, but then he made fun of
so much
Hazel for going to Disney. He was like, that's so basic.
Disney's, okay, going to Disney's fun. Like, freaking
Disney's
Mickey Mouse,
great.
like, hell yeah.
To me, even though Gus was, like, boring and kind of clingy, he was, like, his proclamations of love when he was like, oh my god, Hazel, I love you.
Even though
they were cringy,
love is
but
shout
they were
into
really
the void of
sweet.
oblivion, or whatever.
Oh my gosh, the quote.
Oh my god, that's my favorite quote. It's like, I know that love is just a shout into the void, and that, like,
Oblivion's inevitable.
Yeah, well, I have the quote somewhere, but I forget
Oh
where.
my gosh.
I wrote it down in, like, a journal entry or something.
I love that.
Yeah, I made it my personality for a little bit while. For a little bit. For a little while. At the same
But it's
time.
like a paragraph. So, like,
Yeah,
I'm in love with
like
you,
a
and I
good
know
paragraph.
that love is just
Oh my
a
god,
shout into the
there's
void.
a song. There's a song. I'm pretty sure. The audio is literally taken from the movie, but it's called "I'm in Love with You, Sorry," and it's like it takes the audio. It's like I'm in love with you, and I know that love is just a shout in the void, blah blah blah, and this blah, all that, and it like has like a lo-fi beat behind it, and it's like. It's pretty good. I really jammed out to it for a
No,
while.
Anya sent it to me, and I was like, what?
No, I was like, listen to the lyrics. I
It
was
wasn't
really
that
obsessed
good.
with it.
The lyrics were cringy.
That's my favorite quote. How are you insulting my favorite quote? Out of
Because
context,
it's
they're really
cringy.
pretty.
Oh my god, they just
It's
turned
not,
the entire
but-
quote into a song. That's like,
Yeah, I know. And then Anya's just like, I love it. And I'm like crying
It's
to
so
it. And I'm like,
pretty.
what?
Okay, haters.
we're not hating on it. We just think it's cringy.
Well,
That's not hate.
It's a good song. The beat was very good. It was a very nice lo-fi song.
Lo-fi, nice.
Yeah.
Anya is just into that indie pop music and lo-fi.
Okay, don't attack me like that. It's good music.
Wow. Doris went
It
from attacking the
is.
quote to attacking
You
Anya's
like
music
Ricky
taste.
Montgomery. You can't even deny
No,
that.
I like the one song that's like the most upbeat of all his songs.
No, Line Without a Hook is not upbeat. Like,
No, he's like, yeah, it's
like
upbeat.
this December is like so much more upbeat. I'm sorry. I'll stop.
It's okay. Me and Isabel have the most basic music taste ever.
Taylor
so.
Swift.
Okay, I love Taylor Swift too, but like the majority of my music is not.
It's
It is
very
calm, but it's
lo-fi.
not. I'm not saying I'm not into those. It's just I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Anya's got the ooh-woo
Moving
factor.
on. Gus is like, he acts really deep with the smoking thing, like that, all of that.
It's
that
like, it's
was
a
kind
metaphor.
But like he
Weird.
knows that's like killing him, so he's like,
Well, he's not actually
know?
smoking. He's just like, I could smoke this and I could die, but I won't.
oh yeah, doesn't
he's
he just like
I'm
put it in
actually
his
just
mouth and like
wasting
that's
money.
it?
Yeah, he just puts it in his mouth
and
and
contributing
just,
to the
Right.
sales of cigarettes that kill other people and give them cancer. So, you know, I'm actually a good guy. I don't smoke, but, you know, I still buy cigarettes and essentially kill other people. But it's
He
okay.
bought like one pack because he doesn't actually use his cigarettes. And I remember Hazel seeing him pull out a cigarette and be like, "What the heck? I literally have
no,
lung
no,
cancer."
it's the TikTok sound. It's like seriously, you just ruined this whole thing. This whole thing? Yes, this whole thing. I never lit one. You know? Have you heard that sound?
Yeah.
No.
No, but then it was also kind of annoying because when it was confirmed that he had cancer, and he literally went out to go buy cigarettes, and
Did he
then
like smoke one of them at some point, and that's how he
no,
died?
he never no, he never
No.
smoked
I
them.
forget.
But he wanted
It's a
to
metaphor.
buy a pack of cigarettes, but then he ended up like dying in a gas station. Like not dying, but like close to dying in a gas station.
Yeah.
And so that was a lot.
I mean, he's kind of boring, but you know, it all ties together because he's still pretentious. So like,
Well,
bonus points for John Green.
I mean,
You know what kind of
I don't
annoys me
know.
though? He didn't tell Hazel that he had like his cancer came back.
Well, he didn't want to make her sad because they went to
I know.
Amsterdam.
Yeah, but then he had like the whole like fake funeral thing.
Oh yeah, he had the fake funeral.
And then he's like, "Oh, I don't want to hurt her." Well, he already did, like doing that
Yeah.
thing. So I don't know.
You know what? The relationships, like all of the other John Green books, they're just Hazel and Gus are just really insta love, and they were just the opposite gender equivalent of each other.
Yeah, I mean,
Literally.
it's kind of like that cliche thing, but then again, this did come out like before the other romance novels, so I mean, it didn't come out like before like every single one. There were probably like novels out there like this one, but this one's like the most prominent one for romance. So I guess it's like okay, since it's like, you know, because this is like the one book that you always hear about for if you like say romance novels, you know?
Yeah.
But then like
it just kind of
yeah, it's like the whole insta love, but I think that's kind of just like the whole point, you know?
But like the thing about insta love that it's just not realistic. That's why
I
I
mean,
hate
in a
it.
way, it
It's
could be
not 'cause
since
it's
they're like
cliche.
they're both like bonding over the, you know, dying.
Yeah, I know, but like the second, because literally in the book the John Green, I forgot his name for a second. I was about to say the author dude, but he literally said that Gus wouldn't stop looking at Hazel when they were in the meeting.
I mean, like
so-
that would make sense because like maybe he thought she was hot. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he
Well,
did.
yeah. So like I guess
I
that's
just
why he
like I
gets
kind
so
of get it.
that's why he gets so attached, and then you know since he thinks she's hot, and then he like you know harasses her
I just
until
don't
she like
like
answers.
it.
You know?
That's my problem with standalones because most of the time I don't like the romance. Like I need a series where
Yeah, where it's like a
been
slow
more
burn,
developed.
and then
I'm obsessed
Yeah, well, like
with
that's the
slow
thing.
burn.
It has to be insta love because the main idea of the relationship is that like they only have limited time
Yeah.
together, and so you can't take all the time to like develop their relationship. He just has to be like, yes, they're a
yeah,
thing
they just
now.
have to fall in love because that's
Yeah.
apparently the one thing people need in life is love.
No, I was obsessed with Percabeth from Percy Jackson
Same.
when I was younger. And that's the reason why I was obsessed because it took them 5 books to get together.
Yes.
And so
technically,
I'm
in a
still
way,
obsessed,
it was
honestly.
4. In a way, it was 4 because they
Yeah,
kissed and.
4.
All right. Anyway.
But they didn't actually like get together after
Yeah.
they kissed. They were still like, yeah, but we're friends.
Well,
Oh my god, that just reminds me of
I
that
don't
one
remember
Shawn
anything,
Mendes song.
but-
The main thing that really bothered me was the fact that when they went to Amsterdam, they went to Anne Frank Museum.
Oh my
And
god!
And
That's
they
like-
made out for the first time.
And people were clapping.
then people clapped
Literally
for them.
in the annex. Annex.
Yeah, in the annex. They were like watching like a movie and they were like, there was lots of sexual tension and they were just angsty.
Yes,
And
sexual
then
tension in
they
an
just-
Anne Frank museum.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
But like literally this like even like the kissing itself, I was just like terrible moment, terrible timing, but like whatever I guess. But then people started clapping and I was
Yeah,
like,
I know,
oh,
they're
no.
literal strangers and they don't know what they've been through. I'm like, oh, that's just like, oh, that was so weird.
Like people literally lived in the annex to like escape death. Like and they were literally killed afterwards. So like I don't know, it doesn't sit right with
just
me.
them making out in that. That's like disrespectful in a way.
It is.
Yeah.
And then when Gus would like help Hazel in some way and he did a bare minimum, all the fans in Hazel were like, oh my god, he's so charming. And meanwhile, I'm just like,
Yeah.
Like him constantly calling
It's like,
Hazel
yeah.
and like constantly calling her about the book. Like, oh my gosh.
yeah.
No, he's
I
like
feel
basically harassing her a lot of the time.
Yeah, and she like told him to go away, and he kept on chasing after her. And
Oh, what a simp.
I hate that about books though, because like, I mean, yeah, sometimes it works out and it's like really cute, but also it's like when they don't want you to like talk to them, like you shouldn't keep on trying. That's kind of rude.
yeah.
I don't know.
I
Guys just
find
do
it
that.
weird. No, but that's how restraining orders happen.
Oh, well.
Like, no, legit, because they won't leave the girl alone.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of books romanticize it. Like it's like, oh well, she rejected me the first time, but I'm gonna win her over, and then the relationship is gonna be perfect. And you're gonna
Or
love
if
our
the guy's like, oh, you're
relationship."
just playing hard to get. No.
Yeah,
It's
I know
not how
that,
that
like,
works.
makes me so angry. Like, even though Gus was, but Hazel did go to his house every day to make sure when he was sick with cancer, and I just feel like it was not because he didn't really do that for Hazel, even though he did like have a whole worry session when Hazel went to the hospital for her lung thing. So
Yeah. It's just like Hazel, like actually, like he went to the hospital, but she like constantly went to his house, and not in like an annoying way. It's just like because he couldn't go out of the house.
yeah. And when he did go out of the house to go to the gas station, he was basically
Yeah, that
dying.
didn't really work out well.
Yeah. And then he made Hazel go to his pre-funeral and write a eulogy. Like, come
I
on.
know. Like we said before, like that is a different level of cruel.
Yeah, I know. And they try to make it all funny and stuff, but I just feel like Hazel probably was just like, because if someone I love died, I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, it's like kind of dark.
Funeral.
You're literally talking as if they passed away, even though they're standing in front of you. Like
That
that is one of my worst nightmares.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was sweet that Gus used his Make-A-Wish thing for Hazel.
Simp move.
But I mean, it was cool to see when they went to the restaurant and they drank champagne, even though we don't condone underage drinking.
I don't know.
Well, no, but like in Europe, it's like legal.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I'm pretty sure they didn't tell the waitress that they weren't 18 yet. I'm pretty sure in Europe it's 18.
Wow, maybe their pretentiousness makes them
16.
seem so mature.
I mean, either way, like champagne doesn't really have that much alcohol, so.
Anya, don't be supporting this.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's not like they got drunk or anything. They were just, like, drinking it because it was, like, fancy. But going back to the quotes, because I love the quotes. All the best quotes were kind of rooted from the relationship. So I can't say that their relationship was, like, stupid because, you know, I love the quotes. But the context is so stupid. Like, they were teens. They were making full-on monologues and speeches, and they're like, oh my god, you know, like, love is inevitable, oblivion, blah, blah, blah. And, like, yeah, it's really cute, but, like, seriously, he came up with that supposedly off the top of his head? I don't think so. No way.
I feel like he would just be the
whole
type of
book
person.
is-
You know, like that one Vine where he's like, I love you, beach, and like playing the guitar? Yeah, he kind of, like, I feel like it would be more like that than like a whole freaking paragraph, you know?
It's like the whole thing
it's like
is...
it's like his entire speech, he just like memorized it. He probably has like that paragraph like photographed.
Like a notebook.
He probably has
this quote.
He probably has it framed on his wall. He probably like pledges to it like every morning.
Yeah. Just like, I gotta practice it for the girls.
It's like,
you know?
I'm gonna say it eventually. And then
I'm gonna use it one day, I'm gonna use it.
And then once the time comes, he's like, boom.
I mean,
It's
I
like,
don't
I'm
think
so
it was
cool.
that out there because the main D part was love is just oblivion, all that. Because
like,
that
it's
was his
universal.
worst fear,
But like the fact that he just has it roll off his tongue, like he's
yeah,
just
I don't
talking.
know.
Yeah, like, John Green, like, in his writing, like, the description and, like, you know, like, thoughts, he has a lot of the metaphors, but, like, when characters say it, you're like, wow, that's so cool, but then you're also like, did you really think of that? Because,
Yeah.
you know, when I talk, I'm like, well,
Yeah,
see.
I just stutter a lot, and then I ramble, and then I go off topic. I'm like, yeah, I know this is crazy. I'm like, oh, and I just like started talking to myself. I'm just like, Dora, you're screwing this up. Stop it. I just feel like it wouldn't work out that way.
Yeah, I don't really think teenagers would even know what like love is anyway. I mean, I wouldn't
And
know.
it's like
H2IA.
oblivion, like, you don't, that's extended metaphors, you know?
Mm-hmm.
English teachers are
They
quaking.
really are.
Oh.
Honestly, English teachers are probably like bowing down into this book because there's so many metaphors.
Figurative language, it's all a metaphor.
Honestly, all
Life
John
is a
Green books,
metaphor.
Yeah.
English teachers are like, oh my gosh.
I mean, he loves himself some metaphors.
I mean, he is a
so-
crash course like teacher.
Yeah.
You know what? The letter he left for Hazel to find was really sweet. He was just like, he's a. He was just like, he's a bad guy, but I'm a bad writer, but I'm a good guy, I'd like to think, but I'm a bad writer and all that. So I mean, that was just sweet, and he
I mean,
really
I guess.
tried. And I think, yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, if he's really all about the oblivion stuff,
if he's
I'm
able
sure
to,
he's a decent
if he's
writer.
able to have that giant paragraph like just roll off his tongue, I'm sure he could write a better letter.
But like, he wrote about like how great Hazel was supposedly. Like, oh, like she makes like you know she's better than you, but like you're okay with it or blah blah blah, and like, you choose like you can't choose who you hurt or something. I forget. Oh, it's like you can't choose who you hurt, but you can choose who hurts you or something like that.
What?
Wait,
remember
oh my
the
god,
exact quote.
I forgot. Remember, the whole thing about the Fault in Our Stars is okay.
Right.
It's like,
And then-
maybe okay will be our always.
That's really cute, but I don't understand why okay is so.
Okay, such a
No,
boring
it's
word.
because like during their phone call.
Yeah, they would say like,
they were
okay,
like,
okay.
bye, okay.
But- That's just
I remember-
stupid, though.
I remembered I did see like a photo on Pinterest where it was like a really aesthetic photo, and then they had like this rainbow thing, and then it's like be a rainbow like highlight, I guess, on like the words okay and then okay, and I'm like, wow, that's so aesthetic. So
Yes.
so honestly, like that just gave me like 10% more respect for the book, because you know I'm just that type of person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of John Green's books are so quotable. It's just like it kind of redeems the book. So even though the characters and the plot wasn't like the best, obviously, the quotes and just I don't know the way everything kind of ties together, even though it's cliche, it's like The Fault in Our Stars is a good book, and for a lot of people, it probably was their introduction to like young adult or
Yeah, it was for me.
Romance.
yeah, like romance, realistic fiction, but like for not older, but like, you know, YA.
I remember
In general.
before I read Fault in Our Stars, I was like, wow, this book is probably just all that sappy romance stuff. And then like I didn't know they're gonna have this whole adventure going to freaking Amsterdam, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, going to Amsterdam. I was like, wow, that's like kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
kind of like wasn't what I was expecting, but you know.
And
was like-
obviously, love the metaphors, love the quotes. One of my favorite quotes that we haven't really even mentioned from The Fault in Our Stars is Hazel talking about infinities. And it's just so sweet And even though it's sad, during her funeral, she was saying
Not
how
her
she was
funeral.
so grateful. Not her funeral, of course.
Yeah.
Gus's funeral. She was like, I cannot tell you how grateful I am for our little infinity. You gave me forever within the number of days, and I'm forever grateful. Like, aww. I'm pretty sure
Wait,
that's when I
also-
started crying when I read it.
I don't mean to add this in the conclusion, but like I have to say, like the letter that Gus wrote to Hazel was like because she wanted him to write her eulogy.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just kind of ironic, but in like the worst way possible because instead of her dying, it was him, and that's really painful. But sometimes you just want to read to cry.
Yeah, great book to read for crying.
I do like the title was after the Shakespeare quote or something.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Book Expectations with Anya, Doris, and Isabel.
Email us at bookexpectationspodcast@gmail.com. That is bookexpectationspodcast@gmail.com for any recommendations on what books you'd like to hear next.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and friend us on Goodreads at Book Expectations Podcast, or click the link in our bio.
Make sure you join us next week for the finale.